This is a Mercedes, a car worth almost $10,000. And I paid $1,500. Look at this thing. It looks like it came out of a swamp. But underneath all this mud could be one of the best deals I've ever made, or a complete waste of money. This is a Mercedes A200, the car that makes the dream of owning a German car a reality. A Mercedes like this in good condition is worth almost $10,000. And this one showed up at auction for $1,500. Covered in dirt, sitting for a long time, windshield cracked, interior completely neglected. When a car like this shows up this cheap, everyone runs. They think it's a trap, that it's gonna be a money pit, that the problem is too big. I think the opposite. These are exactly the cars where the biggest opportunities hide. So I paid $1,500 and brought this Mercedes to the shop. The plan is simple to say and hard to do. Figure out why the engine won't start, fix it, clean up this whole mess, and turn this abandoned car into something worth almost 7 times what I paid. But first, we need to find out what's keeping this engine from running. Now the most important part, the engine. This is Mercedes 1.6 Turbo, a compact engine that delivers the power and refinement you expect from a German car. But look at this condition. Covered in mud, just like the rest of the car. Cleaning is essential for the mechanic to work and make an accurate diagnosis. You can't investigate anything with all this mud on top. Now we're ready. This engine is prepped for the mechanic to figure out why it won't show signs of life. Before any diagnosis, this car needs a complete cleaning. And this one's gonna be intense. Look at the amount of mud caked on this body. This isn't dust, it's dried mud stuck to every inch. And as the dirt comes off, the first good news appears. The silver paint is intact underneath, no rust on the body panels. This Mercedes won't need any bodywork or paint, just a lot of cleaning. But the big question remains, why won't this engine start? The mechanic arrived to do the diagnosis.
Aqui a gente tem eita, poxa.
All the fluids were degraded as expected in a car that's been sitting this long. He did a complete fluid change before any testing. Put in a new battery. The mechanic investigated, and what he found makes perfect sense for a car abandoned this long. The fuel pump was dead. With the car sitting for so long, the old fuel degraded inside the tank until it turned into sludge that destroyed the pump. Without the pump sending fuel to the engine, it cranks but never starts. The solution is to replace the fuel pump and clean the system. If that's all it is, this Mercedes comes back to life. If there's something else wrong with the engine, that changes everything. With the car on the lift, we could see what was going on underneath. Lots of accumulated dirt, but the chassis has no structural rust, no holes. For a car that was abandoned in this condition, the structure is exactly as it should be, solid. The wheel wells had a lot of built-up dirt, but they're perfect underneath. And Mercedes sport wheels. After cleaning, they showed why this car has the look it has. This Mercedes is proving that underneath the mud was a very well-built car. But that engine that won't start is still on my mind. Time to buy the parts. The fuel pump for this Mercedes, $250. German car parts aren't cheap. The fuel filter to go with it, $50. Mechanic labor, $100. And there's one more thing this Mercedes needs, the windshield. Look at this, cracked, compromised. There's no fixing it, needs a new one. New windshield with installation, $300. Total, $700 in parts and service. On a car I paid $1,500 for, it's still an investment that's well worth it. If this pump fixes it, the profit will make anyone want to get into the auction game. The mechanic arrived to replace the parts. Look at the condition of the old pump and the fuel that came out of the tank. Dark sludge, completely degraded. There was no way this engine could run with this inside. He installed the new pump, replaced the filter, and cleaned the entire fuel system. Fresh fuel in the tank. Moment of truth. First attempt. The engine turned, coughed almost, but didn't start. Second attempt. It started. This 1.6 turbo is alive. It was exactly what we thought. The fuel pump killed by neglect, nothing serious with the engine. A Mercedes worth almost $10,000 that came back to life because of a fuel pump. The paint on this Mercedes was dull after being covered in mud for so long. After polishing, the silver paint was shining again. Look at the difference. From a car that looked like it came out of a swamp to a dealership quality Mercedes. This car is turning out exactly as it should be. Now the interior is left, and this is going to be the most impressive transformation of this project. Now the part I was dreading, the interior. Look at this. The beige seats completely covered in grime. The dashboard, the steering wheel, every surface coated with the same mud that took over the whole car. This interior that seemed lost now looks like a real Mercedes again. Clean beige seats, spotless dashboard, every detail in place. Time to see the transformation of our auction Mercedes. The same car that arrived here covered in mud, with a dead engine, cracked windshield, destroyed interior that everyone thought was a disaster. Now look at it. Silver shining, new windshield, engine running, spotless interior, wheels gleaming. From a car that looked like it came out of a swamp to a Mercedes that looks dealership fresh. And the 1.6 turbo engine running perfectly like it never stopped. This is the Mercedes nobody wanted at auction. Everyone looked and saw a problem. I looked and saw opportunity. A fuel pump! That was the secret hiding this Mercedes A200 at auction. Let's do the math. I paid $1,500 for this Mercedes. I invested another $1,000 in parts, mechanic, windshield, and detailing. Total, $2,500. A Mercedes like this running in this condition is worth almost $10,000. Estimated profit, over $7,000. From $1,500 to almost $10,000. No bodywork, no paint. Just knowledge, the right parts, and hard work. That's the power of auctions for those who know what they're doing. Everyone looked at this Mercedes covered in mud and saw a $1,500 problem. I saw a $7,000 profit. If you enjoyed this restoration, make sure to subscribe. New videos every Saturday at 2 p.m. Thanks for watching.